phone number, Lama someone de la pen, during the Jeswin Jambe Yantan, Lama Ozer market, 1 days.
So, at the request of Lama Rangbar and his Dakini and all of you, I am going to bestow this empowerment today on this threefoldly auspicious occasion. It is the day commemorating the Buddha's performance or conclusion of his performance of miracles. It's also the great occasion of Lord Marpa, and since yesterday was the great occasion of Lord Milarepa, we can call today the great occasion too. And this empowerment combines the empowerments and sadhanas of Arya Manjushri and the goddess Marichi. The reason for all of this is that Lama Rangbar has received from His Holiness, the previous His Holiness Minling Trijin Rinpoche, His Holiness Sakya Trijin Rinpoche, His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche, Chato Rinpoche, and many other, especially Nyingma Lamas, the command to do something extremely difficult, to build a stupa here that is even bigger and even better than the great stupa at Bodhanath. Now, generally speaking, the Guru's commands are hard to hear because they often ask for seemingly impossible things. And I'll tell you a story of another instance of this that is very similar and that makes me feel quite certain that all of these great masters knew exactly what they were doing in asking Lama Rangbar in particular to do this seemingly impossible thing. Within the Karma Kagyu tradition, when Taisutu Rinpoche of that tradition was giving one of the 5 great collections of Jonggon Kongtrul the Great, and I don't remember which one, Rinpoche said, at his monastery, Sharadling, many years ago. He asked a Lama named Lama Nyima, who was exactly like Lama Rangbar. He's a Ngakpa, not a monk wearing golden robes and carrying around a begging bowl and begging staff, but a Ngakpa. He asked him during the empowerment to, at some time or other, rebuild the seat of Lord Marpa in Lodra. Now you have to understand that Sutta Rinpoche, at the time, Sutta Rinpoche selecting Lama Nyima to do this was very surprising to everyone else who was there, because in that occasion, surrounding Sutta Rinpoche, attending the empowerments, were hundreds and hundreds of monastics, kempos, and tulkus, and high-ranking monastic people. But he didn't ask any of them. He asked Lama Nyima. And you also need to understand that Lord Marpa's seat is the origin of the 12 branches of the Marpa Kagyu. So it's of great importance. It's not something that you would ask someone to rebuild without the confidence that they would be able to do it. So everyone present was quite amazed, especially the Palpung Labrang officials. And they went to Sutta Rinpoche and they said, you know, there were so many kempos and monastics here, and why are you asking this Ngakpa to do this tremendous thing? And Sutta Rinpoche told them, it doesn't sound nice in English, but basically to shut up. And said, I have my reasons which you don't know. So Lama Nyima, after that empowerment and keeping the Sutra Rinpoche's command in mind, went back to his homeland and entered into a 3-year retreat. And he told his sons and disciples, he has 3 sons, that maybe after this retreat we may need to travel a great distance from here. So be very, very diligent in your retreat practice now. And when the retreat was almost over, he told them about Sutra Rinpoche's command and said, we're going to have to sell everything here and use it and also fundraise to rebuild Lord Marpa's seat in Lodra. He actually did this, and he not only rebuilt it, he engaged in a 3-stage process of extremely elaborate and extensive construction. It's actually one of the most extraordinary and beautiful Dharma establishments that exist. It includes college, retreat facilities, a huge monastery and temple that includes some of the most extraordinary images ever seen. For example, statues of the 42 peaceful and 58 wrathful deities that are almost half a story in size, including their thrones and the backgrounds and so on. He really did something that no one else could have done. There are huge images of Lord Marpa at different stages of his life. A statue of him when he was young, a statue of him when he was older. And the whole thing is about 3 stories or 3 floors high, the main temple. And also images of the deities of the 13 mandalas of the Marpa tradition, and a lot of other stuff, just too much to mention. So, as surprising as Guru's commands may be, and they really always come to pass, because they contain, embedded within the command, a prophecy that it will be possible. So therefore, we regard the commands of a guru as like an unchanging Vajra rock. So, while I don't know how long it's going to take Lama Rangbar, and assisted by all of you, to achieve this, I feel quite certain that he will succeed in doing this. I feel strongly that the command that he's received from so many indisputably holy beings will not go to waste. So it was to facilitate and remove impediments to this tremendous project that Lama Rangbar asked me for a practice that combined the practice of the goddess Marichi in order to remove obstacles to this, and Arya Manjushri in order to bring about the necessary wisdom and resourcefulness. Well, I thought about this request for a long time. So what I have done is I combined 2 sadhanas, which come from the collection Knowing One Liberates All, composed by the 9th Karmapa of Wangchu Dorje. And I combined those into one, specifically from the ancient tradition, the praises and offerings I took from the peaceful Manjushri sadhana that is part of the Yamantaka cycle of my predecessor. So with the purest intentions, I have written this as requested by Lama Rangbar for his personal use and for the use of his disciples. We all need to take this command that Lama Rangbar has received from his masters very, very seriously. I used the analogy of an unchanging Vajra rock a few minutes ago, but another analogy for the Guru's command is it is like a drop of the purest gold. that no one would want to see fall to the ground. So we all have to do what we can to support and facilitate this project. And so I offer you now this empowerment, transmission, and instruction with the fervent prayer and aspiration that Lama Rangbar, his wife, and you, his disciples, be successful in this tremendous undertaking, because it will bring tremendous benefit not only to this region, but to this entire country.
Maho chuka kana zah tu Bardor je chong tam Bardor seven chang da shao che jalan Rinpoche pa me tang xian ri zi yer me be ma te la surwan de kaya da nya dan jang Palchen je she sang ga da nya da wang chen ta ken che re tu che da nya da yang da he re ka ga re yang na nor la sur